What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games, and once again we have another easy shiny hunting exploit location for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And in today's episode we have 5 different hunts that we're going to be showcasing. And of course, guys, you're new to the channel and like these types of videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. And of course, guys, if you know any great locations, feel free to send me a message on Discord or in the comment section below. So to begin with this location, we're going to be starting at the Pokemon Center at the Psychic type gym. And from here, we're going to be going all the way to the back corner behind the cave right here. So not through the cave, but behind it. And we're going to go right over here. And this is a great reset spot because we have this wall right here of the cave, which means we're only going to get spawns in front of us and then to our right, which makes this a really good spot to start picnic resetting. So once you're at your spot, you want to save your game like always, just in case something bad happens, you don't get the shiny in 30 minutes, you make a mistake on your sandwich, you can just save your game right here. Now that we have our save, we are going to make a picnic. And with our very first recipe, I'm going to go for a steel type sandwich. And for the steel type sandwich, there is one steel Pokemon that we can actually isolate shiny hunt in this location. And of course, we have multiple recipes for steel type Pokemon, and the recipe I'm going to use is going to be a shortcut one like usual, because I just prefer the shortcut ones at this time. You know, they're just easier to do, but any other recipe with the same outcome would work. Hamburger, salty, and a sweet, and then any pick doesn't matter. And of course, you don't need to put the sandwich top to complete these sandwiches either. And there we go. We're going to have level 3 for steel. And you can see that we're going to get a bunch of Klefki spawning. So level 3 Sparkling, Tidal, and Counter Power right there. And we're going to have a bunch of Klefkis coming in. So the cool thing about Shiny Klefki is you really don't need to zoom in for this shiny, because Klefki is really a obvious shiny. It's going to be golden. So if you see something golden with some blue on it, then that is going to be the Shiny Klefki. So we're just going to keep resetting for the next 30 minutes until we eventually get it. And it's not affected by day or nighttime. So just keep going. You may get like a cluster group out here. And as you can see, we got a bunch over there. Sometimes you get more over there. Sometimes you get more over here. Doesn't really matter where you're looking because the spawns will just be in front of you or to your right. So you will need to pan the camera left and right and then go back and reset. And there we go. With 11:40 left on the clock, we got our shiny, and it's very easy to tell. I mean, it's literally gold, so you don't even need to zoom in. But the other big giveaway is the blue ball underneath it too. So it's relatively easy to see in the wild. And I gotta admit, Shiny Klefki, definitely one of the better shinies that exist in the Pokemon franchise. This Pokemon's also really good too for competitive play. So I highly recommend hunting this thing. Now this next hunt is an exclusive hunt to Pokemon Scarlet, and it's gonna have to be nighttime in order for this hunt to work. But trust me, it's gonna be worth it. We're gonna use 1 prosciutto and 2 salties to make a flying type sandwich here. There we go. We got level 3 Sparkling, Tidal, and Counter for flying type Pokemon. And with this hunt, as I mentioned, it was exclusive as we're going to be able to get Drifloon and Drifloon with this method. Of course, it is not the only flying type Pokemon that will spawn here. Murkrow can spawn in the back usually, and sometimes you get a cluster of Murkrow. We also sometimes get the crane coming in as well too. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for. But for the most part, this is a really good isolated shiny hunt. And you're most likely going to get this shiny within the 30 minutes. And maybe we'll get a bonus Murkrow or the crane coming through as well. But we actually do have hunts for the crane in this location, so stay tuned. We did get some pretty great cluster spawns for the Drifloon. However, we actually ended up getting a shiny Bombirdier of like first thing, which is pretty crazy. You can tell that it is a shiny because the beak is going to be gray instead of the pink. So there we go. Shiny Bombirdier during the Drifloon hunt, which is pretty funny. We actually do have a hunt for this thing coming up, but hey, I'll take the shiny now. Might as well. You know, it's pretty funny because I'm actually getting really good spawns on the Drifloon, but we just keep getting everything else shiny here too. So that's a Murkrow shiny. Come on, Drifloon. It's your time to show up now. All right, come on. Let's get out of here. There we go. After 7 minutes, we got our shiny Drifloon. Very obvious. And Drifloon is also the same color. It's going to be that yellow and blue. I will say you want to be careful with this one just because I believe it has a way to explode itself. So I would actually recommend making a save before you're doing the encounter on this guy. But there you go. That's ourselves a shiny Drifloon. Very beautiful shiny, honestly. Very good. And for our next shiny hunt, we are going to be shiny hunting Psychic type Pokemon. There we go. We got level 3 Sparkling Tidal Encounter for Psychic type Pokemon. So you can do this hunt in the daytime or nighttime, but I actually do recommend doing it during the daytime because we're going to get mostly Gothrita spawns from doing a Psychic type sandwich here, which is phenomenal. It's the second form of the line, but you can actually also get cluster spawns of the final form with 4 of the babies as well. Now, this is going to be a harder shiny to do because it is not that obvious what the shiny actually looks like, but instead of the blue eyes, it's going to be purple eyes, and the faces, instead of going to be purple, it's going to be more pink, and the body is going to be a bit darker too. So it's going to be definitely one of the harder hunts. So I do recommend like looking at them with like the first person camera, or you could like run around, come back and see like, oh, are you shiny? Like check the faces. That's gonna be the best way to do it. Just check the faces, see if any of them are shiny. If they're not shiny, you know, just go back to where you were and then reset. And for our next hunt, it's gonna be a daytime hunt, and we are gonna be making either a dark or a flying type sandwich. Both of these work. I'm actually going to showcase the dark type sandwich, and we're going to go for Bombirdier officially this time as an actual isolated hunt instead of being part of the Drifloon hunt from Earth. And there we go, level 3 for Sparkling Tidal Encounter for dark type Pokemon. So the only dark type Pokemon we're actually going to get over here is going to be Bombirdier. Of course, if this is nighttime, you're doing dark type, that means you are going to have a chance of getting Murkrow. So just keep in mind that we exclusively do this hunt during the daytime just to isolate it. Now, we already saw what the shiny looks like. Instead of having that like red-pink beak, it's going to be a red beak. And that's going to be the best way to tell us, is just to look at the beak on it. And it's going to be a relatively easy hunt. The only thing you got to be worried about with this hunt is when they're flying around, they will despawn themselves. So a new one will come in, so you got to be extra careful. You do see a shiny, you want to make sure to definitely save your game like immediately so you don't lose that shiny Pokemon, because that's gonna be very unfortunate for you to see a shiny spawn and then despawn. Of course, because they are flying around, you can just run around, aim with them with ZL even when they're flying around, and just throw the Pokeball at them to battle them. And for our last isolated shiny hunt, I'm gonna be using a red onion and then 2 salties to create a ghost type sandwich during the day. Though we do it at night, you're not going to necessarily get the Pokemon you're searching for in this case. And this Pokemon we're going to be hunting is Sinistea. And there we go. That's a level 3 for Sparkling Tidal Encounter for ghost type Pokemon. And because it is the daytime here, we are exclusively going to be getting Sinistea. Now, Sinistea is a very hard Pokemon to shiny hunt because it is so tiny, right? And even in a first-person mode, it can be a little bit difficult. However, the shiny for Sinistea is very obvious. The teacup is going to be a pink color and not the green color. And instead of being a purple color on the Pokemon itself, it's going to be more of a pinkish color too. So even if you can't see, you just really need to look at the colors. Like, okay, if it's not purple and like bluish green, then I know it's going to be a shiny Sinistea. However, if you are having difficulties viewing this Pokemon, and I know some people who play on like a Switch Lite may have some issues, you can hit the home button and set up your Switch zoom setting by going to system settings, go all the way down to zoom, making sure this is turned on, going back to your game, and then you can go in your first person mode and then hit home twice, and then you can actually zoom in. And I have it at max zoom, but I'm going to zoom all the way out here, and then we can just do one of those. And of course, you can hit double home again to get out of that zoom menu. So that is going to be the best way to hunt for Sinistea here. And I'll say this, there is one more bonus hunt. If you do a fairy type sandwich, I wouldn't call this a good hunt, which is why I didn't want to include it in the title or anything. But if you do a fairy type sandwich, you will get cluster spawns of Fido and Dachshund, but you'll also get Klefki, you'll also get like random Sylveon spawns. But I do think that's a very messy hunt, so I actually wouldn't recommend doing this for a fairy type sandwich. But you want to know, that's going to be 1 tomato and 2 salties for the shortcut. And of course, guys, if you like these types of videos, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Also, consider joining the Pan Fam, becoming a member today on the YouTube channel. And of course, if you know any great locations, please let me know. Send me a Discord DM or message me in the Discord, or comment below of any other great shiny hunting exploit locations like this one. Anyways, peace out and have a great one.